Hello everyone, welcome back to the Black Law Academy. Today we are going to understand Article 16 of the Indian Constitution, but not the way you memorize it, the way you understand it. Before we start, one small request, please don't skip this class. If you watch this completely, you will get the full concept intake. You will never forget it and there is absolutely no need to memorize it. So Article 16 talks only about public employment, that is government jobs. It does not apply to private companies. Okay, the idea is very simple. Every citizen must get a fair opportunity to enter into the government service. At the same time, the constitution also understands some section of society have been historically disadvantaged, so special provisions are allowed for them. So Article 16 is about balancing equality and the social justice. Okay, so first Article 16 clause 1 says that every citizen has an equal opportunity to apply for government job, that is public employment. This means you cannot be prevented from applying, you cannot be excluded arbitrarily. The selection process must be fair. So this applies to all citizens. So it both covers employment and appointment under the state. For example, if there is a vacancy in railways or banking sector, the government cannot say that only man can apply for, or only people from this particular community can apply. Everyone who satisfies the qualification must be given a chance. This next one is Article 16 clause 2. Article 16 clause 2 clearly says that no discrimination is allowed in public employment. A person cannot deny a government job only because of religion, race, caste, sex, descent. Whether a person is Hindu, Muslim, Christian or Sikh, religion cannot be ground for rejection. Similarly, a person born in one state cannot be rejected merely because he or she is not from another state. So this is what Article 16 clause 2. So it promotes merit based selection. Okay. The next one, Article 16 clause 3. So what it is? Now comes a very important but often misunderstood point. State do not have unlimited power to impose residence condition. Parliament may prescribe residence requirement. Only Parliament can prescribe residence as a qualification for certain public post. Okay, state government cannot do this on their own. For example, if residence is required for a state government job, it must be backed by a law made by a parliament. Otherwise, it violates Article 16. Okay, so it applies to specific class of employment. So why it is? So what is the particular clause? It ensures a local representation in certain job. Okay. So the next Article 16 clause 4 allows state to provide a reservation in government job for backward classes, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, but only when they are not adequately represented in public sector. See the condition, what it is? Inadequate representation in services. Okay, so reservation is not automatic, it permitted as a tool to achieve equality. So reservation is a state's discretion. So listen, it's the very important case, Indra Sahani versus Union of India. This landmark judgments laid several principles. So reservation is not a fundamental right, it is only an enabling provision. Total reservation should ordinarily not exceed 50%. And here it is introduced a creamy layer concept. So creamy layer means the economically and socially advanced member of OBC who are excluded from reservation benefit because they do not need special protection anymore. Okay. So this reservation was allowed only at the stage of initial appointment. So this is extremely important for your examination. So note it down. So next one is Article 16 Clause 4A. So originally reservation was allowed only at the entry level, not in promotion. To change this, 77th Constitutional Amendment Act 1995 was passed. Okay, this amendment inserted Article 16 Clause 4A. It allowed a reservation in promotion for SC, ST in government services. However, this does not mean automatic promotion. Okay, so based on inadequate representation, automatic promotion. In M. Nagaraj versus Union of India, the Supreme Court clearly said that before granting promotion reservation, the state must prove backwardness, inadequate representation, maintenance of administrative efficiency. So Article 16 Clause 4A exists, but with constitutional safeguards. Okay, let's carry forward of unfilled vacancy. So what is meant by carry forward? If reserved vacancy are not filled in particular year, in such case, those vacancies can be carried forward to the next year. Okay, that is what carry forward rule is. So earlier excessive carry forward was challenged. In T. Devadasan versus Union of India, Supreme Court struck down unlimited carry forward as unconstitutional. Later, the constitution was amended to clarify that carry forward vacancy will be treated as separately. Okay, see, treated as a separate clause for future year. So this is what a carry forward is. So the next one is Article 16 Clause 5. This is related to religious institution. Normally government job must be open to everyone equally. Okay, but Article 16 Clause 5 makes an exception. See, listen carefully. If the job is connected to religious, like denominational institution, the people can be required to follow that religion. Okay, this is because certain religious role can only be performed by people of that faith. For example, in a Hindu temple must be Hindu. Okay, so this does not violate equality because the nature of the job itself is religious. Okay, so the next one is Article 16 Clause 6. Here the 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act 2009 inserted Article 16 Clause 6. Okay, so Article 16 Clause 6 provides reservation for economically weaker section. For economically weaker section from the general category, that is apart from caste based reservations, up to 10% of job can be reserved for poor people from general category. Okay, so this amendment was challenged but upheld by the Supreme Court in Janhit Abhiyan versus Union of India. The court held that economic criteria can be valid basis for reservation. So listen carefully. The court held that economic criteria can be valid based on reservation. Economically weaker section reservation does not violate the basic structure of constitution. So see, the maximum limit is 10% of posters per category. So this is what the Article 16. So remember this clearly. Article 16 does not destroy equality. Okay, so it strengthens equality by ensuring fairness. If you understand the philosophy behind Article 16, you can confidently answer any constitutional question related to government job and reservation. So for more lecture videos, subscribe to the Black Letter Law Academy.